Hey there, welcome to a vlog. Just giving you guys a heads up on what's going on. I know I haven't really recorded any new videos lately. It's been like a week. I mean, the podcast sort of thing I did with Matt, I recorded that a long time ago. So I haven't really done anything, and I just wanted to do a vlog to explain why. For one, I've been kind of losing sort of a little bit of passion and desire to just sit here and record videos because of, all the whole stuff with the whole YouTube copyright bullshit, hashtag WTFU, where's the fair use? Um, Stress involving, my math class because I'm focusing on that because I have no idea what my last test score was. I have no idea. I know it's not going to be as good as I would want it to be because my teacher weighed the test improperly, where you can get almost every single problem right on the test, but if you bomb the word problems, well, you're lucky to even pass with just a C. I mean, then that's only if you got everything else right on the test. That's not fair. That's not a fair way to accurately grade or test someone's knowledge of something. I mean, it's just such a shitty way to weigh a test. Um, but I have no idea what my grade is. And it's understandable because my teacher, there was something that happened. Her dad passed away, and I feel for her, and I really do. But she's been gone for 2 weeks now, and I still don't know my test grade. It's supposed to be back on Tuesday, but I really don't know if that's even going to happen. So I'm supposed to have a test on the 3rd of March, another one. So I'm going to study and work on that, and we'll see what happens. But I have no idea. I don't know how well I did. I don't know what my grade is. I don't know what's going on. I honestly wish if she was not going to have the substitute grade papers and grade stuff, and while she's away for what's almost is getting to a pretty extended period of time for a teacher to be away from a class, she should just close the class or given us all, a passing grade or something. I don't know. It's just, why would you do that? Why would you leave? I understand absence of leave. You're leaving because your dad passed away. She can take all the time she needs for that. The problem I have is, why would you not grade anything? The only stuff that gets graded is technically the online homework. And even that, there's some errors. Like there was some homework for a chapter we didn't even learn in class yet that was due like before we learned it, and so now it's past due. So it's just, why would you do that to yourself, especially after you dealt with such a tragedy? Why would you want to come back and then have to grade a shit ton of homework problems and then give people their tests back? And then, I mean, why would you want to do that? I mean, I don't understand. But, there's that. And and I don't know, I've just been kind of anxious about some things, and I haven't been sleeping too well, and I've been staying up too late, and then sleeping in too much, and then by the time I get up, because I've been staying up too late, and then sleeping too much, by the time I get up and everything gets going, like it's already too late in the day, and I don't really want to do a video. So, and I haven't really wanted to watch things and review them, and then stuff that I did have watched, I don't really feel like reviewing them because there's not much to review. So then there's that. But this is not a video where I'm announcing basically, oh, I'm gonna take a long leave of absence. No, that's absolutely not it. I'm not. This is not. I quit. I quit. No, fuck no. I'm never quitting. This is an announcement video where I'm announcing to you guys something that I've been looking forward to get started doing for a long time. Something that I've been trying and been thinking about, at least trying to get done, and at least thinking about it for years. Ever since I got to Vancouver, moved here in with my mom a few years ago, I had this idea to write a book called Gory Days, The Ultimate Guide to the Horror Films in the 1980s. And there have been other instances of a book that was talking about horror films in the 80s, like John Kenneth Mears' horror films of the 1980s, which I have, but nowhere near as comprehensive and as extensive as my book is. There's been John McCarty splatter movie guides 1 and 2, uh, good and might be close to being as extensive, but even then, there's some stuff that's not listed in there. You have creature features, which I do like. I really do like the book creature features. In fact, I just got a new copy of John Stanley's the most recent published one of John Stanley, the updated edition. I just got a new copy of it because my old copy is all worn out and tore up. So because I cherished it, man. I wore that old copy out. I took it everywhere. This is my introduction to a lot of science fiction, fantasy, horror films. This is my first introduction to them, and I decided to watch some of them because of what John Stanley had to say. I don't agree with everything that he has to say, but for the most part, our tastes are pretty similar. So you have stuff like that. And you have like the newer book, Slash Dreams of Ronnie Angel, which I did finally get a copy. I waited a long time. I was one of the first, I was one of the people on Indiegogo to support it, and something happened. A copy got lost in the mail, and then I basically was okay, all right. But I got a new one sent out a little bit later. But I didn't care because it's a first world problem. I mean, it really is. It's a first world problem. Oh, I didn't get this book that I ordered a long time ago. I'm lucky to even get the book. So I'm fine with waiting a little bit longer to get the book because I eventually got it. So there's that, but it's mostly on slasher films. And it's not just about slasher films of the 80s, not just about horror films of the 80s, it's about all different types of horror films from different decades, different slashers from different decades. So there's that. There's a few other instances, and then there's like a really shitty book called The Gorehound's Guide to Splatter Films of the 80s, which is an absolutely horrible book. I absolutely highly recommend that you all avoid it because the author hates 80s horror films and it literally shows up in his writing. He just basically, if he could say fuck this, fuck that in the writing, he would. It's one of the most infuriating and insulting books I think I've ever read. And I'm so glad that I rented it from a library a long time ago and I didn't spend money on it because it is such a ripoff. Why would you write a book about a genre of films that you don't like? And why would anybody want to read that? Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, there's rants, and there are some shitty horror films in the 80s, but it doesn't mean that every single one is bad. So I don't know why you would want to subject yourself to that, let alone subject other people to reading what you have to say about a genre that you don't like, especially paying money for it. But anyway, that's it. Surprisingly, that's it. I mean, you would think that there would be another book that like would have had in mind for a few years now. No, there isn't. So that's why I'm going to do it. I'm going to write Gory Days, the ultimate guide to the horror films of the 1980s. The most comprehensive guide to horror films of the 80s ever. And I'm also going to be doing reviews of every single horror film that's going to be in that book. So the book originally started as something that was just going to be a guidebook with just, synopsises, cast and crew, tagline, and, some trivia, and then maybe a little bit of my thoughts on something if I had seen it. But now I've still kept a lot of the same sort of setup as I had before with the taglines and with the cast and crew and the release date and so forth and so on and the synopsis and trivia. But I'm gonna have my thoughts in the book, condensed thoughts, by the way. Not really. No, I'm not doing essays. That's not my plan. Condensed thoughts in the book on every single film that's listed in the book. And it's structured by year. So you start off by 1980, and then you go through A to Z of every horror film that I have personally found through Wikipedia and IMDb, and through just off the top of my head, because there were some that were not listed on the lists that I found on IMDb and Wikipedia, horror films from 1980 or 1981 or so on. There were horror films that weren't on those lists. So I had to, basically think off the top of my head of some that weren't on there that I added there. So it's not going to be every single one because there's probably some I might have missed. There's some that are not really available in English. There are some Japanese or Chinese horror films, which can be its own genre in itself or its own book. So I'm not going to do that. When it comes to foreign horror films, I'm pretty much only maybe doing like some German ones or Italian ones. The only ones that I kind of think might be kind of interesting to watch, or ones that I like giallo. I like giallo horror. I like Dario Argento films, and I like Lucio Fulci. So it's stuff like that. Fulci, Argento, Bava, stuff like that. Maybe a few other sort of German, foreign type stuff. So there's a variety. It's not just American horror. And I'm also covering all different subgenres of horror as well. It's not just horror. It's going to be sci-fi horror, comedy horror. Because originally I was like, maybe I was let's just do horror. And then I was like, fuck it. If I'm going to do this many reviews and I'm going to write this book, I might as well go all in. I might as well do it all. And so I'm like, might as well. I mean, why not? I know it's a huge undertaking. I know it's a lot of work, but fuck it. If you're going to put that much work into it anyway, you might as well do it all. You might as well do as much as you can. So, all different subgenres of horror I'm going to cover. And so I've been wanting to write this book for years. Figuring out that there really is not a book like this is really making me really want to write it even more. And I love horror films. So this is an opportunity for me to watch more horror movies, to write about them, to become a better writer, and not only that, but improve my reviews. I mean, it's a win-win for me, it's a win-win for you, it's a win-win for everybody. Um this is going to be valuable experience for me because eventually I do want to make shorter reviews. And I'm going to have to figure something out because of the overwhelming and crazy, insane amount of films from each year that I need to review. So I'm going to have to figure something out where they're not going to be reviews that are like 20, 30 minutes. I can't afford to do that. There might be some that might be a little bit longer than others because they're movies that I really like. But other ones that the first time I've seen them, I'm going to try to make them a little bit more shorter and a little bit more condensed. But I'm going to try to do it in a way that doesn't lose my passion and doesn't lose my, you know, my in-depth thoughts on it. I still want to be in depth. I still want to talk about all the different aspects of the production. I still want to do that, but I want to do it in a way that's not so rambling. That's not so, off the top of my head, all over the place. So with repeated practice on looking for pros and cons of these type of films and pinning down what my final thoughts are on these movies, I will be able to find a way to make shorter but still really effective reviews that will not only, entertain my audience that's already here, hopefully anyway, but hopefully attract more subscribers and more people. And it will carry over into my other reviews of other films. Like this is just going to make me better in the long run. Um, and then there's another caveat which I didn't really think about until recently because it was only an option that was given very recently. Is that I am going to get experience with an editor of a horror magazine called Living Dead Magazine, which is a magazine that the person who's head editor for it, her name is Deanna. I met her when I was volunteering for the horror convention, and I was basically given the news that she's always looking for horror movie reviewers. She's always looking for movie reviewers, for guys or gals to review movies. And I was talking with James R. Beach, who is one of the guys who helped get the book Slash Dreams made. And he's also another guy who was one of my bosses for my volunteer job at the horror convention in Portland, Oregon last year, the Living Dead Horror Con. And I met up with him because he did a great job working with me because I was originally supposed to get the Slash Dreams book, and around Christmas time, something happened. The package got lost or got sent to a different address or somebody stole it. I don't know what happened. And it was a book it was a book, it was the book, but it was signed by the author and signed by Tom McLaughlin, director of Jason Lives and One Dark Night. And it also had an autograph in the box of Adrian King from Friday the 13th. And I was like, got lost. But then I made a deal with James, and he worked it out, and eventually I did get another copy. It wasn't signed by Tom McLaughlin or the writer, but it's okay. But I did get another autograph of Adrian King, so it worked out. And then I ended up getting the book as well as making a deal with James to pick up some of his tapes that he was trying to sell. And so he stopped by my house, dropped off the tapes that I got. Some of them are really rare that I've been wanting for my collection for a long time, and I got them for a really good price. And then I talked with him for a little bit, told him about my idea for my book. And he said that, Deanna's looking for writers, and this will be a way for you to get your name in print, to get some of your work published, to work with an editor. And I was like, hell yeah. And I sent her a message on Facebook. She's like, yeah, I could use more, writers, or, some reviews. And I'm like, awesome, cool. This is going to be something that I really think is going to help me in and a ton of ways. Once I finally do get the book finished, which, by the way, folks, it's gonna be a while. There's a lot of movies. There's 69 movies just from the year of 1980 alone. Okay, you want an example of the highest total? In 1988, I have a list of 140 films that I need to watch and review for my book and for this channel. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to do. But I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, with Deanna, with the Living Dead magazine, whether my reviews get posted on the website or whether they get posted in print in the magazine, it's going to be a valuable experience for me because I'm going to work with an editor, see what they want, and improve my writing. Improve my writing, which I think I'm a good writer, but working with an editor is going to make my writing so much better, and it's going to make my book better. So it's gonna be good for me. It's gonna be great. I'm not gonna get paid, but there might be a deal I might be able to work out with Deanna where she needs reviews of Blu-rays, and I might get some review copies. I'm just saying that would be pretty awesome to get review copies of Scream Factory and some of these other horror companies and review the Blu-rays for the magazine or for the website. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna get in contact with her once I write up like at least one review, just for her to take a look at, and then I'm gonna see we're gonna see where it goes from there. But as it comes to the book, like I said, I'm just gonna make it condensed. It's gonna be pros and cons, and then final verdict in terms of what my thoughts on the film will be, and a little bit of trivia. Not every bit of trivia, the most interesting bits of trivia I can find that I think are the most interesting and the most intriguing. And if there's any quotes that I think are kind of funny, I might mention them, and stuff like that. And it maybe if it's a slasher, or if it's a gory movie, it might talk about how gory it is, but that's really not the point of the book. I know it's called Gory Days, but it's going to be talking about gore, of course. I want gore. I want the gore in my horror. I want it, but it's not necessary for every single horror film for a horror movie to be good. It doesn't have to be gory as hell, but for splatter movies, you better bring the gore. You better bring the splat. And I'll mention that in the pros section. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to make this video. I know it's not that short, but I had a lot on my mind and I had a lot to tell you guys. This is a lot to process. This is a huge undertaking. This is like the biggest thing. This is the biggest challenge I think I've ever tried to do for this channel. I tried to do something like VHS 365, but I never finished it, mainly because I was doing it in a way that it was edited with footage and pictures and stuff and all that kind of stuff, and it just, I don't know, with the copyright stuff with YouTube, unless that gets sorted out. I mean, it's to the point now where there's no punishment for people who hand in false copyright claims. They can hand in a false copyright claim, take money from you, and you could fight it, and they could be like, "Fuck you." Unless you got lawyers, we're not gonna do shit. And basically what they're doing is illegal, but they don't fucking care because YouTube doesn't have any system in place to punish them. So there's all kinds of, the copyright system is all kinds of fucked up. As you saw in my other video, I had to do, you know, luckily that got worked out, but not because of YouTube, because I contacted the person who sent me the strike. So, and that's happened twice. I've gotten strikes for videos that have no copyrighted material in them just for a thumbnail because somebody just didn't choose to watch the video, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy. It's all kinds of fucked up, and I already ranted on it before. Um, but and plenty of other YouTubers have spoken up too. So I hope it does end up changing sometime soon. Because I'd like to do videos like Oliver Harper with video with footage and clips and pictures and music, but I don't want to get fucked up the ass by copyright. I don't want to lose my channel. I don't want to have any of this shit happen because of that. Until YouTube decides to actually protect its users and punishes people who send in false claims and actually figures out how to actually adhere to fair use, I don't want to take the risk. And also, I got too many horror films to watch from the 80's, and I can't spend half the day editing and then upload one review. I can't, maybe like 5 horror reviews in a month. I can't do that. If I'm gonna do my book, I needed to get it done as quickly as I possibly can while I still have the time. I only have one class, and it's two times a night during the week. I mean, if I'm pattern my time properly, I get up earlier in the morning. I can do reviews. I can watch the movies. I can write, and I can also work on math, and I can also keep up with what's going on YouTube and things like that. I'll have still plenty of time left over because it's all about time, and I want to pattern my time better. I want to get better habits. I don't want to keep. This is a bad habit I'm in right now, folks, of staying up too late and getting up way too late in the afternoon. Half the day is already fucking gone, and I'm going back to bed again. I'm sleeping too much. I'm wasting too much of my time right now sleeping. Enough is enough. It's just I need to stop that. And not only for my future career, but for my health and for you guys and for the book and for the marathon. I gotta get ready. Get up in the morning and then fucking watch a horror movie. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm psyched. I'm so psyched to start this, guys. And gals, if they're already that are watching this video, that's why I wasn't really that pumped to do I haven't really posted a lot of content lately. It's because I've been building myself up for this. I mean, this is something I'm passionate about. This is something I'm looking forward to watching the random movies again, trying to look for a diamond in the rough. And then, every now and then watching a film that I know I enjoy, but I haven't seen in a long time. Looking at the horror genre, which is my favorite genre of film. And I know there's a lot of YouTubers on here and subscribers who've subscribed to me and were introduced to my videos through my horror review, through my horror reviews, if I can fucking say the word. I mean, they've actually said really nice, kind words to me where they've said, I really like what you have to say about horror. I think, I really like your horror movie reviews. So for those people, here you go. You're getting a ton of 80's horror reviews, starting soon. I mean, I'm hoping to get the first review or reviews up tomorrow. That's my whole goal. And it's going to be a tough start because I'm starting out with Alien 2 on Earth and the Alien fucking Dead, which is one of the worst films I've ever had the misfortune of watching. I got to watch it again, but it's worth it. And then I could say I got it done. And then afterwards, I got a pretty good double feature of Alligator and Altered States. So, it's cool. It's fine. There's going to be times where I'm going to be like, oh God, what am I doing with my life? But hey, there's a purpose now. It's not just, oh, let's make a video just because. No, now there's a purpose. Because I'm going to write the review first, with the pros and write the section in the book first. Then I'm going to sit down. I'm going to talk about the movie, and then we'll already have all my thoughts in order, and the process will be so much easier. And I hopefully the videos will be just as entertaining as before. Trust me, there's still going to be plenty of rants because there's going to be plenty of shitty 80s shitty horror films to watch, especially from the late 80s, because that's when you get a lot of bad direct-to-video horror films. Um, but yeah, anyway, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. All this other stuff that I was thinking about doing, I mean, there might be, because I might want to change things up. I don't want to get burned out. So every now and then I might review something else, or I might do a DVD collection video, or a DVD VHS update, or a mini rant or something like that. So it's not good. I mean, there is gonna be some change now and then, but it's mostly gonna be 80s horror all day, every day. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Um, and some days there might be more than one review. There probably will be more than one review posted each day if I can do it. And I'm going to be watching at least two, maybe even three movies a day, because and writing at least three, sections of the book, and reviewing at least three movies a day. I'm going to stockpiling the hell out of these reviews. I really don't have a reason not to. I have all this time. Might as well use it to get a dream done. It's been a dream of mine to write this book, and it's been a dream of mine to actually watch every 80s horror film, so I could actually say that. And also, it's gonna be a good experience. It's gonna be a really good experience. I'm very passionate about horror. As you can see, I got the Blob remake poster on my wall. Predator 2, Leviathan over here, Wolf Cop. I'm it's my favorite genre of movie. Yeah, so it's my favorite genre of film. So I am absolutely chomping at the bit to get this started. I probably will start the marathon as soon as I stop recording this video. So anyway, that's the announcement. That's the vlog. Yeah. So I guess I will see you guys later. See ya.